Yo. Listen, Linda. I don't want to hear it, okay? I am here now. I've been gone for a minute now. I'm back with the jump off. Now I'm just playing. Yo, so listen, welcome. If you're not familiar with me, my name is JT. I go by JteeLit. And I figured it out. I figured out the formula. I figured out what's going to work best for me. I can vlog here and there, but I had to get back to my roots. I've been in these YouTube streets watching since high school. I am very true to this, not new to this. So, we're going to review The Housewives. We are going to review season 17, The Real Housewives of Atlanta. Been watching since season 1, familiar with all the cast, familiar with all the drama that has happened over the last, is it 17 years? I guess it's been a little bit longer than that because they took a little hiatus. But we here. And this works best because I know I'm going to have to be consistent with it. I can't just review one episode, then I come back and review episode 2, and I come back and review episode 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we here. This is how I can stay consistent. I want you guys to hold me accountable as well for staying consistent, reviewing these episodes. So let's get into it. Season 17, Real Housewives of Atlanta is back. The blueprint to all the other housewives shows, argue with somebody else. So let's get into it. Okay, so before we even get started, just so we can kind of get familiar with each other, let me just kind of tell you where I stand with the cast and just my quick opinion with each woman on the cast. First up, Porsha. I think Porsha is fun. Porsha seems like she's the life of the party for sure. And Porsha is like that friend you want to go hang out with. I definitely get that from Porsha. But Porsha does some trifling stuff that I cannot support. And, that's just her. But I feel like also Porsha is playing the role of ditzy, even though I think she might be a little ditzy. But you can't be that ditzy if you didn't finesse the Nigerian scammer. No shade. I feel like Porsha is playing a role. I really feel like Porsha is playing a role. Drew, another person I feel is playing a role. I feel like Drew is acting. Drew is definitely acting, but Drew is good for the show. Drew is the show at this point. They always got an issue with Drew. Angela Oakley. I think Angela is cool. I think Angela is definitely one of those characters that reminds you of like the old school Atlanta. I feel like she could have really fit in well with the Sherades, the Nenes, the Cynthias, like the season 5 cast. The season 5 cast when Porsha and Kenya first came on. I thought she could have easily fit in with them well. So I like Angela. I like Charles too because Charles reminds me of Peter Thomas. Just here for the mess, low key. Let's see, Shamia. Shamia. I think Shamia is annoying. Shamia is annoying, but it's also I feel like she will be fun too. Like her and Porsha have the same like fun type energy, but like I don't know, Shamia. I have a love-hate relationship with Shamia because Shamia is funny. Shamia made me laugh a few times this episode. But yeah, Shamia, she cool. She cool. Let's see, returning Kelly. Kelly is annoying. Kelly's annoying. I already know Kelly's gonna annoy me this whole season. She annoyed me this episode. Kelly's annoying. Phaedra. I guess I understand the hype of Phaedra, but I also don't. All she does, everybody says it. All she does is make faces. We really never know what's going on in her life. She ran away from the smoke with Married to Medicine because they was over there getting at her and she ran away from it. So I need Phaedra to have her time in the hot seat for real, for real. Kind of how Porsha had to have her time in the hot seat after the whole Candy sex dungeon situation. Nobody has really held Phaedra to the fire. So I need that to happen this season. Newbies that's coming on. Pinky Cole, don't know too much about her. I have been a slutty vegan. It was good in the beginning. Haven't been in a while, but I'm curious to see what Pinky's gonna give. I just kind of hope she comes in, has her own identity. Seems like she does, so we'll see what happens. And then K Michelle. Listen, K Michelle is good TV. I am excited that K Michelle is on this show. I've been saying that they need to get a big personality on Real Housewives of Atlanta, like from another show. I was saying it can either be Quad from Married to Medicine, Mariah from Married to Medicine, some of the girls from R&B divas like Nikki Gilbert. I was like, y'all need a big personality on this show, especially since Nene is not there anymore, but she's probably coming back. And K Michelle, she fits it. K Michelle, we've already seen is going to be the star of the show. Watch. And then Cynthia, she's a friend of the show. We love Cynthia here. Cynthia, Cheekbones, Bailey, and Cynthia looked like she will be clocked in this season. So I'm curious to see how that goes. But yeah, I think that's the whole cast. Did I go through everybody? Let me see. Boom, boom, boom. Angela, yeah. So let's get started with, I'm also kind of figuring out the format of how I'm gonna do this. As far as like, do I want to give a play by play, or do I just kind of want to just talk about the important things that happen to me? So we'll kind of go as we go. So give me some suggestions on kind of how y'all think the format should be. Okay, so we start off with this weird scene. At first, I thought it was Porsha. I thought it was a silhouette of Porsha, like this long ponytail, and then Cynthia is Cynthia basically. And she walks and sits down in the middle of this chair, and then we see like a preview of what's to happen this season. And it looks like it's going to be a interesting season. So very curious about that. But that scene kind of confused me. And then at the end, Cynthia turns around and says one of my favorite lines that I say every day in my life. What else is going on? So, there's that scene. But then we get this little montage of, what's been going on with the ladies. We see Kelly's taking her daughter to college. We see, then we kind of fast forward over to Angela and Charles's house. And y'all, I don't see the chemistry. I didn't see the chemistry last season. And I don't know if it's because the cameras are there, but I don't see the chemistry between them. Charles already breaking the fourth wall. Angela was grilling these burgers that looked like they was not done, but she's grilling these burgers, and then she gives Charles a burger, and he bit into the burger, and he pointing at the camera like, "Look, see," and it's like, Charles, come, like, sir, the cameras are not there, sir. But then they kind of have this little conversation. He's choking on the burger. And she goes and tell her daughter to bring him some water or some liquid. I think she said it's so weird, but she was like, make sure it's not cloudy. And then they kind of go have this little awkward conversation about how he was on a podcast and he was saying how when they went and got married in Vegas that his drink was cloudy, and it was kind of alluding to the fact that maybe she did something to his drink to make him marry her. So yeah, that would have pissed me off too. So she's addressing that, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm here." So they just kind of have weird chemistry, just weird chemistry. And then even when they kind of finished the conversation at the end, it was like they went to go hug each other, and it was just like cringe. I was like, oh, just weird, just weird. But still, like I said, I like Charles. Charles is funny, but yeah, their energy is just weird. And then also in the confessional, Angela also says, she's not shutting down any rumors this season. I don't know if this is because she pissed about what he said on that podcast about that cloudy drink, but she was like, yeah, if you said I'm not clearing up no rumors. We're not doing that this year. Whatever you think is what you think. It ain't got nothing to do with me. And honestly, I feel that. Okay, so then we cut to Porsha. And let me know this as a viewer if y'all kind of felt like it was weird too, because I was watching it from a different lens this time because now I'm watching it to take notes so I can come and talk to you guys. But as I was taking notes, it was like all over the place. Did the editing kind of seem a little like they jumbling like three different storylines together at one time? It was it was all over the place, but because it goes to Porsha, we introduced back to Porsha, who is supposed to be the anchor of this show. And honestly, she was giving Big Mother energy a little bit. I'm gonna give her that. I'm gonna give her that one little thing. That one little thing. But we go to Porsha, and she is introducing us to Kimberly, aka K Michelle. Oh boy, am I excited to see K Michelle on this show. I know she's about to K Michelle is about to carry. I'm excited to see K Michelle. So K Michelle is at this photo shoot, and then her and Porsha are sitting down talking about how she's entering the world of country music. Now we've all known this about K Michelle for some time now. I'm like I'm in and out with K Michelle's music, but she definitely has that voice for it. She definitely has a country music voice. So I hope she's able to. I hope this show really helps her in that space. But one thing I found so interesting about what she was talking about was she talks about how the Mean Girls of Atlanta really tried to blackball her, and I remember this. Like I said, true to this. Like when K Michelle was on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, her ex Memph Hits, was really good friends with Toya, and Toya, Lil Wayne's ex-wife. And that whole group is tight. And like Rashida's on the show. Rashida was like, "Oh yeah, no, that never happened. That man never hit you or whatever like that." And then Toya, Rashida, Candy, Tiny, me, like they all cliquish. They all cliquish, and we see that on social media. Not saying they had any. Well, Kay said it. Kay was like they tried to blackball her. A lot of people didn't want to work with K Michelle. Um, and like she said, she really is trying to change the narrative because on Love and Hip Hop, she was rah 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 ta ta ta, and she's trying to change the narrative. So I can understand that. Now, this is why I said Portia's trying to be mother. Portia comes in and is like, "Listen, you have to let that go." And I'm looking at Portia like, okay, right message, wrong messenger, because your ass was just over there trying to beat up Dennis's mama on your own show. But that's all right. That's all right. We can all change. I'm hoping you change too, Portia. I see the steps you're trying to take. Um, so yeah, K Michelle kind of talks about that, and I just find that interesting because that's real. I think that really did happen to her, and I really do hope that she is able, like I said, to change the narrative on this show. I really do hope she is. And one thing I will say about K Michelle too, even on social media, K Michelle really don't bother people until they bother her. Now she is one of those. If you throw a rock, she's gonna throw a damn rock too, but her rock is gonna come from outer space and it's gonna be a goddamn asteroid. And now you mad because she took it too far. But again, you threw a rock first. So I I think we see how that happened as well with her and Drew and how that beef gets started. Yeah, and Portia's trying to give her advice. They kind of talk about how, Beyonce reached out to K Michelle and how they've known each other for some time. They did a movie together. Have no idea what movie that is. If you know, tell me in the comments just for information because I'm not about to go watch it. And then Portia talks about, like I said, it was weird because they was having like too many conversations at once because Kay talks about how she just got married 2 weeks. Kay, that's commitment. That's commitment. That's commitment. Let me go marry this man so I can get on that show. I know that's right. I know that's right, Kay Michelle. Hopefully the marriage work out. Y'all say y'all have been together for a long time. And I find it so interesting. That's why I said she went on that love show and was like, I only went on that love show to pretty much not scare him into marrying her, but like pretty much saying you better get your stuff together because look how many people want me. So I found Kay's story very interesting. Like I feel like Kay came in hot, and I also it didn't go unnoticed that they introduced Kay Michelle before they introduced the entire cast as far as their storylines. We didn't get Kelly, we didn't get Phaedra. Phaedra didn't have nothing going on this episode already. Like, and she already lying. But anyway, um, so yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how this plays out because Kay's coming in, new marriage already, new dynamic. So I think it's gonna be very interesting to see what Kay brings to the show, basically. But yeah, as I said, this is a weird scene because we're also talking about Porsha and how Porsha is still in the house. And she says she paying the bills of the house. So Porsha, the theme of the episode was audacity, and Porsha had a lot of audacity this episode because, lady, you you was up in that man house. Mm, mm, mm. But like I said, I can tell that the producers are trying to make it seem as though Porsha is the anchor, Porsha is the mother of the girls, Porsha is in charge of the girls. So we go see because I don't know. I don't know how long it's gonna play out. I don't know how long it's gonna last. All right, next we run over to Shamia's house. And y'all, oh, this gonna be such a hard season dealing with these two together. Dealing with them separately is one thing, but dealing with them together is another thing. They're both seeking another person to, latch on to. Kelly lost her bestie with Britt Edie. Shamia lost her bestie with Porsha. So now they just two gotta come together. And they're just already annoying me. Like just like everything. And Kelly with your fuck ass fucking confessional dressed like Ric Flair just just everything about it. But anyway, try to remove bias and just watch the show. So Shamia and Kelly, they catching up. Kelly is talking about, now she's a college mom. We also have, yeah, I'm sorry. Shamia kind of gives me single white female. She gives me single white female. It's like Shamia need because when Kelly was there, she was like, "Oh my God, like where you been? Like I need to talk to you. I need to like," and it's like Shamia needs somebody to follow. She needs somebody to latch on to, and I hope she's able to change that narrative. But she gives that energy. This whole scene was that. Even at the end of it, they had a commercial, and the commercial was for Shamia and it was for Airwick, and she was like, "Yeah, this is my new best friend," and I'm like, Shamia, is this your whole? Is this about to be your whole storyline? You want a new best friend? What else is going on? Like Shamia, you got a lot of stuff going on too. Like you be at the Hawks games, you be on the radio. Like I hope we see that this year because if your whole storyline's about to be you and Porsha and Kelly and my new best friend, I'm already over it. So hopefully that's not the case. But anyway, Shamia also kind of talks about how she's not as far as like business savvy, but she has like ideas that she wants to bring to the table. So, I hope that we can see that play out again because this storyline is going to be real dry, real quick if that's the whole thing. But again, Shamia is hilarious. So Shamia talks about how her and Porsha had a text exchange after the reunion because she didn't realize that Porsha was chewing her ass up at that reunion. And Porsha was one thing about Porsha does well at the reunions, but she was chewing you up at the reunion, so you didn't hear everything that she said. So y'all had an exchange after the fact, and she memes out how their conversation went. So basically, they was calling each other bitches and hoes, and you know unpleasant words, and that's where she left it. So that was the last time she saw Porsha. They talk about how Porsha is having this couples event in Simon's house, and they talking about how you go have an event in that man's house. And Shamia is, like, I got the invitation. I guess she meant to send it to me because she sent it in the group chat. But nevertheless, I got it. So yeah, I do plan on going. And then Kelly throwing her little shots and was saying, "Yeah, I'm gonna bring somebody else to Simon's house as well." So clearly, we see that Kelly is not for Porsha again. For what reason? What's your reason? It's given you just want to be the mouthpiece for Shamia. And we see that later in the episode too. You just want to be the mouthpiece for Shamia because you don't really necessarily have no issue. So you're just trying to create one. So we will see how that plays out. But I already know it seems as though this season Kelly is just about to be Porsha, and already like over it. So now we're at Porsha's event, and I don't even it was saying majestic, she was saying it was majestic islands, but then it was like saying mystic islands, and I'm like, okay, whatever the theme is in this man's house, we're at Porsha's event, and Cynthia arrives first. Cynthia Cynthia's man is this was the theme of everybody's man was either on the phone or not there. Well, only one person's man was not there, but Cynthia has dreadlocks on her phone because her man has dreadlocks. See, Cynthia, shenanigans like that is why they ain't gave you no peach back. That's why you're a friend of Cynthia, because that's a shenanigan. And if you go shenan once, you go shenan again. Why are there dreadlocks on your phone, Cynthia? If you was 50 Cent a few years ago, I know you look good, ain't? But why are there dreadlocks on your phone when you at this grown ass age? Where do you even get that from? Did you make that? Then after that, Charles and Angela arrive. I feel like, did I call that lady Angel in this episode? If I did, chalk it up to the game. But Charles and Angel arrives. Angela, Charles and Angela arrive, and after that, the editors on this show ain't shit. We see that they have edited a ghost version of Simon. And I know for a fact, Porsha, they are about to clown your ass because every time you do a scene in that house, they are going to add Simon in the back. And I already know he's getting full enjoyment out of that. Just giving you more ammunition for him to drag you online. But when I tell you, I laughed out loud. And then it was like a jump scare too. It was like one scene where he just like, and I was like, oh, like there was no warning, no nothing, like legit jump scare. I was like, oh my God. But yeah, the production crew, editors, y'all ain't shit for that. But I mean, I'm here for it. I'm here for it because it was funny. But y'all ain't shit for that. So Drew arrives and she tells us that, Ralph is still in the basement. But she arrives and her date is on FaceTime. And just like I think Phaedra said it, the man, Phaedra and K. Michelle said it. The man sitting there, he has a ring light. He's sitting there smiling. He was on the phone the whole time. So this is Black. And this is apparently, I guess, the guy that's going to have there's going to be an issue with him later in the episode. Later in the season. But yeah, I thought it was weird. Like, I understand it's a couples event, but I mean, okay, you can just go single. Shit. Like, what are we doing? So then, Phaedra arrives, and then K. Michelle arrives with her husband, Caston. And then I think this is where she actually talked about she's known him since ninth grade, and she went on the Queen's Court show to, like I said, hold his feet to the fire. And looks like it worked. So we'll see how that goes. But then that's what I'm saying. Drew kind of starts it because Drew and Kay meet. And, Drew is in her confessional saying, yeah, I know Kay Michelle, she used to be a singer. Or does she sing? Oh, okay. So it's like, it's already smoke. It's already smoke. Again, we go pay attention to see who starts it because I'm telling y'all, Kay Michelle does not start with people. She doesn't start. But when you get her started, then that's just when you got to take what comes with it. So mark my words. Mark my words. We go see what happens with them. All right. So now Porsha is coming to us with the bullshit. Porsha had already set up a scheme, and here we go. So this random man named Mike comes out of nowhere, walking around as though he is the head of household. This is his home that he has built from the ground up. He has been living here for years. His family lives here. His family has been here for Thanksgiving, Christmas, dinner, Easter. He's walking around. He's walking up. He's like, my name is Mike. Porsha's like, this is my date. Then she says, this is the only man that they have met recently of mine because they never even officially met Simon. Because he had your ass running like he was around a goddamn tornado last season. So you wasn't even able to introduce him to the women. But that's okay. They know who he is. I'm sure they've met him, Porsha. But yeah, here's Mike. And Mike tells Mike is Porsha's date, like I said. And the ladies are like, oh, okay. So she tells him, y'all want to grill him? So she walks away. She's like, give me a kiss on the cheek. And she walks away. And the women, they just started to ask him random questions. I was like, I don't even know why y'all wasting y'all damn time with this paid actor who ain't even gonna be here episode 2 because we see Sway's here next. We see Sway's here episode 2. So it's like, Porsha. Already with the shenanigans. So then we go back to Shamia's house, and here is where we're introduced to Pinky Cole, and Pinky basically lets us know that she is a boss millionaire. So we see what's playing out in real world times right now when it comes to Pinky. So I'm really interested to see how this story is going to play out. But yeah, Pinky, she seems cool. I feel like she's gonna annoy me too. And I feel like that whole trio of Shamia, Kelly, and Pinky just gonna annoy me. They all have like annoying traits about them. But I'm gonna give Pinky a chance. I feel like I've already made my mind up on Kelly and Shamia, but we go give Pinky a chance. And then back at the house, the ladies, because Porsha tells us that she met Mike, did she say after COVID or during COVID? And everybody like, baby, 1 + 1 is equaling 17. Because how did you do that? How did you do that? Because that's when you met Simon, supposedly. But we know you had already knew Simon, but then you met Simon, but now you knew Mike. So it's giving y'all stories ain't adding up. That's why I be talking about Porsha. That's what I be talking about. Like you smart enough to finesse a African scammer, but your story not straight. Like where we at? We missing the plot here. We missing something. You missing pieces. So get it together. Get it together. And the ladies calling you out. And I'm glad they're calling you out too, because you've been getting away with a lot of stuff. I'm glad they're calling you and Phaedra out this season because y'all need it. And Phaedra is in her confessionals. Again, you had nothing else going on this episode. But Phaedra's in her confessionals trying to throw shots at Pinky and talking about, she's natural. She doesn't have injections. Phaedra, who are you talking about? Are you trying to shade? You trying to shade? Who are you trying to shade? That's what I'm saying. You always making faces and you never really put a name on nothing. You always just throw shots and then just kind of hide your hand and act like ain't nobody said that and making all your faces. Like, put a name on it, Phaedra. So scary ass. So Shamia and Pinky arrive at Porsha's house late because they've already started dinner. So they arrive at the house late, and Charles and K Michelle at this table. Let's just get to them first. Hilarious. Charles and K Michelle are hilarious. They over there cracking jokes. It's like you sit next to the cousin you're not supposed to be sitting next to at the funeral or at the function. Like, they cracking jokes. They talking about, oh, because Shamia's late. They like, where's SWV at? We missing y'all third band member. And they like, oh yeah. They like, oh yeah, yeah, where is Shamia? Because Shamia can sing. And like K Michelle, like, Charles, don't play with me. She was like, don't play with me. And he was like, she was like, what if I put you on a team with people that don't know how to dribble? He was like, oh, well, I'll just make them better. And she was like, don't play with me. So Charles and K Michelle over there having a good ass time. And it's so awkward because Angela is sitting next to Charles. And it's like she's awkwardly kind of trying to join the conversation and laugh too. Like, and it's like, that's what I'm saying. But question. I'm gonna get to it. Because think about this. Remember this thing. I'm gonna get to it in a second. But Shamia and Pinky arrives, and then this we find out that there's a little bit of smoke between Shamia. I'm sorry. There's a little bit of smoke between Kelly and Pinky because they both talking about they left the other one on red and they were trying to do business together and how the other one is not a girl's girl. So I'm curious to see what's that's going to play out to be. Because again, I don't need Kelly having beef with Porsha the whole season. I need get somebody else to do it. Pick somebody else. So I'm curious to see how that's going to play out. But the night goes on. The ladies are talking. They're asking these little questions. And like I said, K Michelle is over there confused, perplexed as to why this man is on the phone with Drew Sidora, just sitting there with the ring light, just like, And then she's like, why is she over there? Why does Shamia have a mohawk? Why does this white lady have a white wig playing a violin? She's like, I'm just wanted to come to this African man's house and just be glamorous. Like, K Michelle is hilarious to me. I laughed too many times this episode. So yeah, it's giving extra. It's giving extra. So then Porsha and Mike do this weird ass because the ladies asked, how long have y'all been? When's the last time y'all were intimate? Is what Pinky asked. Porsha and Mike, and she was like, we haven't, or but she was like, I would like to change that or whatever. Then they do this weird little like they was about to get married thing, and then again, here come the editors playing in your face, Porsha. They have like the little ghost Simon walking behind y'all as y'all at the altar. Stupid. And then Kelly, it's like, do you hate the girl or do you not like? Do you like the girl or do you not? Because like you jump your little ass up and you running like you want to sit like you want to marry them, and it's like you want to be Porsche friend so bad. Like just stop. You want to be her friend. Stop. Like stop hating. Like stop trying to be Shamia's mouthpiece. You want to be Portia's friend. You know you do. All right, so we're still at the table, and then like I said, Shami Drew, that's what it's so many, it was so many different dynamics happening at one time that it was like kind of hard to keep track of and take notes because now all of a sudden we have Shamia and Drew going at it because Drew asked Shamia, like she was like, hey, so where's Gerald? Where's your husband? And then she was like, uh, same place your man is at because he's on the phone or whatever. And then she was like, oh, well, he's traveling or something like that. And it was just like a weird exchange. And I was like, okay, where did this come from? But I understand why everybody has beef with Shamia because again, Shamia really was like Shamia kind of was like Marlo, kind of feeling herself a little bit when she finally got that peach. And she did the apology because she was saying it was towards all the ladies when she made some kind of video. But Drew is hilarious. Like I said, Drew is impersonating her in the confessionals, and I cackled. I cackled. Drew, K. Michelle, Porsha. They are winning the confessionals right now. They for this episode, they are hilarious. Actually, Angela too. They all kind of did good in the confessionals this first episode. That's why I feel like it's going to be a good season. But they all over the place because again, where did that fight come from? But the ladies kind of separate. The men go out to have cigars. They have a hand roller cigar station. So the men are outside having cigars. The ladies are inside sitting down. And then we have, again, another argument. And it's relating to Phaedra and Angela because Drew was saying how I guess she agreed or didn't agree. It was the whole thing was kind of stupid and confusing to me about the receipts about somebody that was at the Hawks game. And then Phaedra was like, "Oh, I can just run the clips. I can run the footage because I saw that whatever happened." The whole thing was confusing to me. If y'all can't elaborate more on that or like explain that to me, because I was confused by what even was talking about. The only thing that was clear to me in that argument was Phaedra's a liar and always will be. You sitting there talking about, oh, I had the tapes. And then when they asked you, do you have the tapes? Oh, well, I've never seen the tapes, but I had somebody ran the tapes. Shut up, Phaedra. Just that whole argument was stupid. So then, they're going back and forth. Kelly wanted to ask, be messy, wanted to ask Porsha, okay, what's going on with you and Shamia? And then Porsha, like, look, baby. Like I said, Porsha isn't her full on anchor of the show mode, and she shut it down. Was like, it ain't got nothing to do with you. Don't ask me no questions about me and Shamia, and shut Kelly down. So there's that. But then it was so weird because K. Michelle got up and she was like, I don't want to deal with this drama. So she got up and she went out with the men. But right before Kelly and Porsha started going back and forth, did y'all see how I keep calling that lady Angel. Did y'all see how Angela hopped up? And it was like she ran outside and was like, Kay, you need to be in here with the girls. And it was giving that scene from that Tyler Perry movie.
I'm going to stay and hang with the boys.
Oh, no, you going to come and bring your ass in the kitchen where I can see you.
It was giving that. I was like, did you run out there because him and Kay was having a good time at the table and you was trying to be a part of the conversation? Because Kay Michelle just went out there and sat next to her husband. But yeah, she was like, Kay, you need to be in here with us. And I was like, ooh, Angela. Angela, what was that about? But for the most part, that wrapped it up. The last part that happened again was so weird. We got Mike thanking everybody for showing up. And then Portia's like, y'all let this man speak. Why? Who is this person? It was weird. Porsha, like I said, the theme of this episode was audacity, and Porsha had it in abundance. But yeah, that's for the most part. That's what happened. Like I said, it was good to watch, but it was hard to keep up with everything because there was so much going on, which I think might be a good thing as far as we move forward because it seems like there's so many different dynamics that's happening at the same time. So yeah, let's see what happens. But like I said, y'all, I am locked in. We are reviewing the entire season. Please, please, please engage with your boy. Like, comment, subscribe down there. We here for the whole season. We are here. Season 17, Real Housewives of Atlanta. Let me know your thoughts. Follow your boy on socials, JteeLit. That's JteeLit. Follow your boy on TikTok, JteeLit, JT Talking Lit. Yeah. Like, comment, subscribe, like I said, and I will see y'all next week. Same place, same time. Peace.